Good morning, learners. Myself, Dr. Fanish Kumar Pandey, Associate Professor, Department of Life Sciences, Institute of Applied Medicine and Research, Ghaziabad. Today, I will be discussing about the topic that is agrobacteria-mediated gene transfer. The transformation of the plant or the transformation inside the plant, according to our need, has been globally accepted. This is the process in which the gene of interest is transferred from one organism, basically they are the prokaryotes, to the other organism, they are the plants. And this gene of interest or the gene of importance that we have selected, according to our need, has to be transferred, and the one important thing is that it has to be expressed also. There are two processes. One is the biological process and other one is the physical process. In the biological process, we use the agrobacterium for this transfer, and in the physical method, we use the particle bombardment method, or also called as the bioelastic method. Now, this agrobacterium, which is a pathogenic bacteria, and it affects basically the broad-leaf dicots. So, this problem of transformation inside the monocot plants has been solved out by the process of the development of the physical method, that is particle bombardment method. Today we will be discussing about this agrobacterium mediated gene transfer, in which in first part I will be discussing about the biology of the agrobacterium, the process of infection, and second the structure of the plasmid that it is having, which is responsible for the transfer of the gene. So let us begin with the agrobacteria mediated gene transfer. Now, what is this agrobacterium? Agrobacterium is basically a pathogenic bacteria. The basic features are that it is a gram-negative bacteria. It is soil-borne, that is, it is present inside the soil. Third, it is pathogenic, infecting the dicot plants. And fourth one is that it is motile. So these are some of the features of the typical agrobacterium that we are going to study. Now, scientifically, for the process of the transformation or gene transfer, two of the species of the agrobacterium are important. The first one is the agrobacterium tumefaciens. And the other one is agrobacterium rhizogens. Now, this agrobacterium tumefaciens is the causal organism. It is the causal organism for the crown gall disease. And this organism, that is agrobacterium rhizogens, is the causal organism for the hairy root disease. It is causal organism for the hairy root disease. The particular feature that this agrobacterium is having is the presence of the PI plasmid, and it causes the tumor. So it is called as the tumor inducing plasmid. that is Ti plus. Agrobacterium rhizogenes has the Ri plus and it is for root inducing plasmid. Ri stands for root inducing. Now let us talk very little about this root inducing plasmids. Basically, some of the secondary metabolites that are present or obtained from the roots. And we know that the secondary metabolites are very limited in number. They are the secondary products of the plants. Now they are being obtained by the roots of the plants. Now if we infect this Agrobacterium rhizogenes, what it will be causing? It will be causing the hairy root disease. So what will happen? The amount of the roots will be increased. Okay? Hairy-like structure, more and more hairs. So more and more hair, what will happen? The product that is going to be obtained is more in comparison to the non-affected plants. But today our topic is the crown gall disease. Which is caused by the Agrobacterium tumefaciens, which is having a Ti color. Now first of all, basically understand this, that what is this crown gall disease? What is crown? If you see the plant, this is a typical plant. And this is shoot and this is root. Okay. Now this very portion, that is the junction of the root and the shoot. What it is? That is the junction of the root and shoot. This part is called as the crown of the plant. This part is called as the crown of the plant. And we have talked about the location of the Agrobacterium. The Agrobacterium are soil-borne bacteria and they are present in the rhizosphere region of the root. Where they are present? They are present in the rhizosphere region of the root. While they are present inside the rhizosphere region of the root, that is, they obtain the nutrients that are secreted from the roots. So, more amount of nutrients is present, basically more amount of bacteria will be present, or they will prefer to live here at the rhizosphere region. Okay. Now, what this Agrobacterium does? This Agrobacterium, it infects the plants. How it infects the plants? Because this crown region, that is the junction of the root and the shoot, is likely to be damaged by the external sources. Say for example, the wind is blowing. The particles, the soil particles, where they are going to hit maximally, they are going to hit at the ground region. Okay, the wind is blowing. This is the plant, this is the shoot and this is the root. What will happen? The root portion is fixed, so the plant will move from the shoot portion and basically at this ground region. So what will happen? The cells present at the ground region will get damaged. Okay, and once it get damaged, what is the basic nature of the plant? Is it tries to heal itself, and in that regard, it synthesizes some of the phenolic compounds or the sugar compounds. Okay, to heal the cells. Now, when they are in the process of synthesizing or secreting these type of chemicals or compounds, they are traced by this agrobacterium that are present in the rhizosphere. And this process is done, which is called as the chemotaxis. Which is called as the chemotaxis. That is, chemically these bacteria, they are attracted at the region where these compounds are being synthesized. Okay? And they infect the plants. What is the basic nature of the Agrobacterium tumefaciens? That is, it causes the tumor. Okay? Tumor is what? Basically, it is the proliferation of the cells. So what happens at the crown region? It forms the tumor. Okay? Let me complete this plant also, so that it looks good. A very general structure I am making. So this is the crown, and what happens? The gall has been formed. That is, the tumor has been formed. So this is known as the crown gall, and the disease is called as the crown gall disease. Okay. So this is the basics about the crown gall disease that this very particular bacteria causes. Let us see basic structure of the bacteria. You all very well know. This is the basic structure. Maybe of the agrobacterium are rod shaped. One thing is important, that the agrobacterium are the rod shaped bacteria. This is the bacterial genome. Okay, and we also know that in the bacteria is the presence of the extra chromosomal material that is called as the plasmid. Okay, and this plasmid, that is Ti plasmid, present inside the agrobacterium. This is Ti plasmid, and it has a region called as the tDNA. It has the region called as the tDNA, which stands for transfer DNA. Which stands for the transfer DNA. So, generalized structure of the bacteria, that is agrobacteria. So this is the Ti plasmid, and this Ti plasmid, one portion is called as the tDNA, that is the transfer DNA. And in the infection process that we have talked earlier, what happens? This tDNA is transferred from the bacterial genome inside the plant genome. Okay, it is clear that this tDNA is transferred from this bacterial genome inside the plant genome. Only this part, that is tDNA. Okay. The process we will be discussing later. I am drawing a very hypothetical structure just to make you understand that how this tDNA is transferred from the bacteria to the plant cell. Okay, this is plant cell, this is bacteria, and this is the presence of the plasmid, and this is the presence of the tDNA. Okay. Here is the plant. Okay. Now in the process of infection, what happens? These bacteria, they get attached to the plants. Okay. And inside this bacteria, this tDNA, okay, it becomes single-stranded and starts moving towards the plant cell and inside the plant genome. Okay, and it gets incorporated inside this plant genome. So what we have seen, that is that this tDNA present inside the TI plasmid, in the process of the transformation or infection, it gets transferred from the bacterial cell genome to the plant cell genome. Now this is very important. So it is basically a general process of the infection. So anything or any gene of interest that is present here, or that has been incorporated inside the tDNA, along with the tDNA, where it can go? It can go inside the plant genome, where it is going to be expressed. So this is the basic principle of the recombinant DNA technology. Okay, that is transferring a gene of interest. The gene of interest, it may be of any kind that we have selected. That is gene of interest that we have selected according to our need, according to our interest. Okay, it may be some plant genome, it may be some other genome that has to be transferred through the agrobacterium inside the plant genome, and it has to be expressed. Okay. So we have talked about the crown gall disease. We have talked about a little bit about seeing the basic hypothetical structure, that how the gene is transferred. Okay. Now once inside the plant genome, the tDNA, once inside the plant genome, it has two functions to perform. One is the formation of the crown gall disease, okay, which is its basic nature. Causing disease is its basic nature. What it does? It causes tumor. Okay, tumor is nothing but the proliferation of the cells. Second thing it does, that is the biosynthesis of the novel compounds. Biosynthesis of the novel new metabolites. Okay, biosynthesis of the new metabolites. Now how it causes crown gall disease? It once inside the plant genome, it starts the biosynthesis of the auxin and cytokinin. Okay, both these are the plant hormones, you very well know. And what is the function of these plant hormones? Is basically it induces the division of the cells and also the enlargement of the cells. So what will happen? This will start synthesizing biosynthesis of the auxin and the cytokinin, and it will start the region where it is present. They will start to divide and enlarge. So what will happen? The tumor will be formed. Okay. Second thing, what it does is very important. That is biosynthesis of the novel metabolites. And what are these novel metabolites? These novel metabolites are the opines and the agropines. These are the opines and the agropines, and they are not synthesized by the plant cell. By any means, by any gene, they are not synthesized by the plant cells. So these two metabolites are the novel compounds, novel metabolites that are being synthesized in the plant cells. Okay? Opines are what? Opines are the amino acid derivatives. Opines are the amino acid derivatives, and depending upon the species of the agrobacterium, they may be octopine or they may be nopalin. They may be octopine or they may be nopalin. It is having 8 ORFs, open ending frames, and it is having the 13 open ending frames, similar, very similar to the eukaryotic cells. Okay. And agropines is what? They are the sugar derivatives. They are the sugar derivatives. Now, why these compounds are synthesized by the bacteria, agrobacterium? These are synthesized for their own survival, so that they can get their own food inside the plant cell, that is basically sugar and other things that they survive on. Okay, so these are the two basic events that is happening inside the plant cell by the infection of the agrobacterium. Okay, first is we have discussed the crown gall disease, tumor, how it is caused. Second is the biosynthesis of the metabolites. Tumor is formed by the proliferation of the cells, and basically the biosynthesis of the auxin and the cytokinin, they are the plant hormones that are required. As I have already said, that they have the open ending frames, that is very much likely to be uniformity with the eukaryotic genome. Now coming to the second part, that is structure of the plasmid. Okay, we have TI plasmid, and the structure that is I am going to draw is nopalin TI plasmid. This PTI S58. Okay, and this is nopalin TI plasmid. Now let us see the regions that are present inside the plasmid. Okay. This is the tDNA region that is transferred from the bacterial genome to the plant genome. This is the left border it is having, and this is the right border is having. Now one thing is important, that more than one tDNA can be transferred from the bacteria to the plant cells. Okay, but they are unique because each and every tDNA is having this unique repetitive sequences, that is the right border and the left border. Basically they are of the 24 base pairs region. Okay, and this one is the origin of replication site. This region is the virulence region. Okay, and this region is the bacterial conjugation region. the bacterial conjugation. Okay, this entire structure is what is the TI. Okay, now in this tDNA is present the tumor causing region. Okay, one region is present that is called as the NOS, that is nopalin synthesis region, and outside this tDNA is present a region called NOC, that is C stands for catabolism, okay, breaking down of the complex compounds, and S stands for synthesis. So this is structure of a typical TI plasmid, and it is having this tDNA region, the origin of replication, okay, the virus region which is responsible for causing the virulence, and the bacterial conjugation region. Okay, and this tDNA region, it is unique by having a 24 base pairs. It is 24 base pairs, repetitive sequences, direct repeats. They are the direct repetitive sequences, left border and the right border. Okay, they have tumor causing region, they have nopalin synthesis region. So this is present inside the tDNA, and what I have said, that this particular region is transferred from the bacterial cell to the plant cell. Okay, so once transferred, it is going to be expressed, and once it is going to be expressed, what it will synthesize? It will synthesize those novel metabolites that we talked about. That is agropine and opine. And in opine, this is the nopalin TI plasmid. So what it will synthesize? It will synthesize the nopalin, which is basically an amino acid. Okay. The one point that is again to be noted, that this NOC region, the genes for the catabolism of this nopal synthesis, they are present in the bacterial cells. They are not transferred. They are not transferred at all to the plant genome. So synthesis of this novel compound will be done by the plant cells, okay, once inside the plant genome, and its catabolism, that is its utilization, will be done by the bacteria for their own growth, for their own development. Okay. Now this left border and right border also has a very unique significance that we will be discussing later, that it is transferred into the plant genome by the process called illegitimate recombination. That is recombination by having a very little common sequences. So, say for example, this is the plant genome and this is the tDNA. Okay, these regions, that is the left and the right border, they are having illegitimate recombination or very little common sequences with the plant genome. So what happens? By the process of the recombination, this tDNA, what happens? It transforms inside the plant genome. And any gene of interest that is inside this plant genome, any gene of interest that we have selected according to our need, that has been incorporated inside this tDNA, along with tDNA infection, what it will does, it will go inside the plant genome and it is going to be expressed. The purpose will be solved only when this gene of interest is going to be transformed and it is going to be expressed. So in this lecture I have talked very briefly about the process of the infection, about the agrobacterium, about the crown gall disease, and the TI plasmid that is basically responsible for the transfer of the TDI. Okay. So this is all about. Thank you very much. We will be continuing in the next session. Thank you all of you.